most pastors have probably had this experience, but I'm associate pastor and I'm visiting in the nursing homes, some of our older members, almost 100 years old, and her hearing is just about gone. And so you need to get right up next to her ear and talk to her, and then she nods her head and you realize she can hear you. Of course, you're giving communion, so you're giving her the elements, and you're saying, "The blood of Christ," right into her ear, and she's nodding her head, and it's echoing down the hallways, and I'm thinking, this is just not right, but it's what had to, and she just so appreciated being able to hear those words, of the sacrament. Yeah.
And when I served in Upper Darby, they had a group of very dedicated older women who were United Methodist women. Very, very faithful. And they met every month religiously, no pun intended. They had lunch, they had their meeting. Many of them had shared the chairs over and over again. They did their reading, I taught their classes and so forth. And there were a few younger women that had joined the church when my wife and I were appointed there. And they were trying to get these younger women into the group, but the trouble was they either had kids or they were working, and so lunch was not a possibility. Plus, the two of them had very different interests, and so the younger women decided, okay, well, we'll join, but we'll have our own program and we'll meet at our own time. And they did. They were in touch with the United Methodist Church in East Germany, and they contributed to the funds that the women contributed to the conference and so forth. But they met on Monday nights, and they didn't take a name like the Susanna Wesley Circle or the Rebecca Circle. They just called themselves the Evening Circle. And so one Sunday morning, as I was doing the announcements, I had announced that the ladies of the Evening Circle was going to be meeting that evening. And to make matters worse, my wife was a member of the circle. So.
I remember my first wedding at my first full-time appointment in Berwyn. I was very nervous about it, had the book in front of me, had done all the work and the preparation, and it was hot. It was a summer day. There was no air conditioning. And I was at the front of the church, and the bride and groom came down, they met, I began the service, but had my eyes so much in the book that I was about 2/3 through the service before I realized that nobody had sat down, that the congregation remained standing for the whole of the service.
They really loved you, didn't they?
It was around Thanksgiving time with the church that we served in Schuylkill Haven, and the church was decorated for what we called a Harvest Home celebration with a Thanksgiving theme. And I was complimenting the worship committee on the colorful decorations that are around the church, and I was supposed to say the word gourds. But unfortunately, I said another word, which I'm not going to repeat today, and the congregation just began to burst out laughing. And the more I began to try to explain what I said, the congregation just started laughing, and finally I just gave it up. It's just like I was getting deeper and deeper into debt. And finally I just said, "Will the ushers please come forward to take the morning offering?" I knew I was in trouble when after the service my family doctor, who was a part of that congregation, came to me and said, "Pastor Ritz, 1 free office visit for human anatomy." And when I got home, my wife told me the word I did share, and they still laugh about it to this moment. And so that's just a joke that only my wife and I know, and unfortunately a whole congregation in Schuylkill Haven.